son. Where'd you find this?
Don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who acts like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lie.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll do.
Good evening, peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Tuesday, good people. I hope all is well. Hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying safe on these roads. Charmaine, good evening. How are you today?
Hey there. Doing all right. Just a little tired from the work day and the exhaustion of some other things, but I'm doing all right. Mm-hmm.
And it's just Tuesday, right?
It's just Tuesday. Then got over it all. It's just Tuesday.
Well, hey, at least there is a Tuesday. It could be worse, right?
It could be, but after the day that I've had, I said, I wish it was Friday. Give me last week.
Well, look, I'm glad you could make it this evening. I chose this topic specifically because, well, there's just people out here that let their ego and their pride get in the way, or maybe they might be in a situation where they don't feel like they can rely or trust in somebody to really help them with pure intentions. So I'm gonna bring this up on the big screen. I'm gonna let it play, and we'll chop it up. Hold on a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, so I had to make this video.
My man glitching or something. Hold up. I don't know what's going on. Why it's not playing? Let me see. This is odd. Hold up. This is, you know what? Screw the video. Let's put it this way. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it.
Hmm.
But basically, he was saying, people don't know how to ask for help. Some people aren't willing to ask for help. Um, how much did you get a chance to see the video before it started acting weird?
Yeah.
Okay, so you already got an idea. Cool, cool.
Hmm.
What was your thoughts on it?
My thoughts was that, I mean, it is a true fact, right? That, and um, not to make it about race, but also not to make it about sexism, but it is in fact a true fact that, for one, on one hand, in the black community, in black culture, that we were taught, men and women were taught to, not ask for help, was taught to just take it. Especially men, they were taught to, suck it up, be a man, don't cry, all these little different things that on the inside will make somebody suffer and will make somebody mentally be like, you know what, like be make somebody mentally and even physically be super, or rather hyper independent, right? That's what it makes them. I, for one, know that for a fact because I am hyper independent. But to also that, even in other different cultures, um, for men, they are taught the same way. They were taught that, suffering and not asking for help, you gotta do it on your own. You gotta try to figure it out some way, somehow, on how to make something work, how to make something shake, and not be taught the proper way, the healthy way rather, of how to deal with your suffering, how to ask for help, and how to uh, go from being hyper independent to at least co independent, or just being independent but also know how to ask for help. Um, that that video made me think about uh, a lot of my patients, a lot of people that I talk to on a daily basis, just within the hospital setting, and how they talk to me. They tell me like, "Chap, listen." They was like, I feel embarrassed to ask for help. I feel embarrassed to even tell you what's going on, and I have to tell them because it's both men and women, but the majority is really with the men, and I have to tell them, it is okay to ask for help. I know y'all were taught, you know, y'all have to, you know, do it. Y'all have to provide. You have to do this. You have to do that. If you don't, then you this. If you don't, you that. I was like, but please understand that in here environment, you can ask me for help. You can come to me and tell me what is wrong. What is your suffering? What does that look like? How is that shaped? How has that shaped you? And that has brought down the barrier. That has broke down the wall of them understanding and them being comfortable with me as a female, a young female, to be like, okay, she understands what I'm talking about, what I'm going through, even though she is not a woman. But she knows what suffering looks like. She knows what that looks like in silence, and she knows how to uh, reframe and how to make something of my situation so that I can understand better, and let it be transformable. Let that be transferable, because it's something that nobody wants. Nobody wants to suffer in silence. Nobody wants to um, have to go through things alone. And yet we live in a world where we come into this world by ourselves, unless we have a twin or a quadruplet or whatever. But we, at the end of the day, we die alone. We don't. Not a lot of people die with the surroundings of families, of a family member or a family's period, but that they die alone. They die with that suffering on their heart. They die with the the mental state of I did all of this by myself, and now I have to do this by myself as well. And so that's my little 2 cents and my thought about it. That was a lot, but it had me think about all of that while I was watching the video.
No, I'm not mad at it, and it's true. Unfortunately, you made me think about something like when you come into this world, you're pretty much new to everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know nothing. But as time progresses and your teeth start to form and you start taking your baby steps, guess what's happening? You're being programmed
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning. Now,
Yep.
I don't know if you have that nuclear household or maybe it's dysfunctional. Maybe it's a combination. You know, our paths are just, it varies in different areas, But at the end of the day, you get programmed to these things. And like you said, we'll get demonized. Oh, I had a hard day. Well, suck it up. I'm bleeding. Why are you telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Go get you a band-aid. Um, I'm short. I still want love, but I'm short. Well, hey, too bad. Preference, preference. So like there's so many different things that you can look at and say, well,
Yeah.
who did this to us? Who put us in this position where we feel like, man, don't nobody care about what I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit up here and talk for hours. Does it really matter? Is anybody listening?
Right. Yeah. And it's I think it's two things. I think it's one, I think it's learned behavior. Well, everything is learned behavior. We are what's the word I'm looking for? We are I don't want to say programmed, but our brain functions and learned behavior. So it's one, learned behavior, but two, it's also um it's a generational thing. It is a generational uh trauma bond that is passed down, that unfortunately is not broken in a lot uh in our culture. For men, it's not broken, and it doesn't get broken until early 40s to about 60s, maybe 70s, which is the unfortunate part, because it's hard enough to be somebody of color, to be somebody of a male. But it's even harder that there's this barrier, this generational bond that is over top, that needs to be broken at birth. Like maybe straight off the womb, but it doesn't. And that's the unfortunate part, which is why I think it's so hard for, or rather, it's so important for boys, little boys, to learn, hey, cry. You're not a wimp. You're not a sissy. You're not a pussy. You're not a bitch. You are a human being, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to express your feelings and express your emotions. It's not that you're gay. No, you're a human being, and that is healthy. Ask for help. If you need it, ask. If you don't, closed mouths don't get fed. But not everybody thinks like that. Not everybody put pieces like that together. And that's another unfortunate that we live in the society of the world today.
Look at TikTok. Look at Facebook. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Twitter. Read some of the comments under these uploads, under these posts. And you can tell right there where in lies a lot of our issues.
Yep.
We're grown. We all fucking adults. But y'all still act like y'all in high school.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that you said too that I want to highlight, that 40 and up club. We be out here pretty much doing what the hell we want when we younger. We want to explore the world. We want to, be in and out of different shit. Life kick your ass. You hit that breaking point in that wall, and then you start reflecting on your poor decisions. And then you start to really realize, all right, there's got to be more to this.
Mm-hmm.
You start reflecting on, damn, am I really being honest with myself? Am I really truly living how I want to? Or am I still under this chain? Generational curses. That's what I like to refer to. When you have a system in place designed to destroy your family, nobody steps in to break that.
Mm-hmm.
So every bad habit and addiction gets passed on from you to the next person to the next person. Nobody knows how to stop it. Nobody is strong enough to stand in the gap and try to make things happen here.
Yeah.
And so you just get a plethora of depressed people that's narcissistic and all different types of shit. It's very sad. And I agree. You should be able to cry. You should be able to say, I'm sick. I'm not okay. I need help. I need somebody to fucking listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I need a shoulder to lean on. I need a hug. Like, why is it that men don't even want to hug men? You look at, oh, he gay. He
Yep.
what? So I can't show love to this brother no more. I can't walk away from this. Like everything has to be, oh, you weak or you sassy or like, come on. And you wonder why men are suicidal, why
Mm-hmm.
people's their families are broken. They don't know how to have proper relationships. We don't know the difference between what a stoic man looks like and what a broken man looks like. Like all of this is by design.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think one of the biggest issues is with this disconnect with uh hey, I spend 12, 15 hours at work. Uh but I'm afraid if I tell you I'm tired and this, that, and the third, you're going to be turned off from me. And you're not going to look at me like the man in the house anymore. Where do you think this issue comes from? Oh, I can't hug my brother no more. I can't acknowledge another person. I can't say, oh, support this black owned business. Or where do you think like one of the main issues come from?
Mm. That's hard. But I think one of the main is is not is not being communicated and taught properly. It's it's misconstrued. It's is not taught um, in a healthy way, and it's baffling. It's not baffling. It used to be baffling. It's now more, I think, disappointing that it's not being taught that way, or taught in a way where um, you should be able to hug your brother. You should be able to hug your friend, your homeboys. A good dab is good, but sometimes they need a little hug too. And sometimes that doesn't happen until a baby shower or a funeral. They're the only two that where it happened is, or maybe a family reunion. And it's just not it's not taught. properly. It's not communicated properly. And I wish that more men would stop uh, being in their head about whether or not it's uh, a gay move or you know it's a weak thing. I wish that would stop because like no, that's not true. Like every one of my guy friends, male figures, they all know, hey, if you need a hug, I'll give you a hug. I don't care that I'm a female. I don't look at you like that, but you can give me a hug. You can tell me your problems. You can come to me and understand the mindset of behind why you are the way you are and why you do things that you do. You can do that. Now, can you do that with other women? Yeah, maybe not because not all women are understanding, and some women will do the same thing the parents did. Some women will literally beat you down and tell you the same thing your parents told you, which is worse because they supposed to really love you. Your parents' love is different than a partner's love. And if they beat you down and tell you the same thing that your parents told you, yeah, that's something that's really hard to then unravel and unlearn, and then relearn by somebody who's completely different and opposite.
Communication in 2026 is trash.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
You know what I think is a big problem? The self righteousness,
Mm,
that judgy. Oh, you slept with 20 people at what? Ugh. And I'm not saying anybody specifically. Is
yeah,
like you do know that you was in the street too. Maybe not like I was, but you stole a pencil off of someone's desk, my nigga.
mm,
That's a sin too. You probably lied and said that somebody did something to get you out of trouble, and you got somebody else. That's just as bad.
yeah,
But it was like we have this judgy. Oh, you got the cootie, so don't touch me. But we're human, and if the Epstein files and everything happening with that has not taught anybody anything, you cannot put nothing past a single soul on this planet. Everybody is guilty of something,
mm-hmm, yep,
but it's not my place to condemn you. I don't have a hell or heaven to put you in
nope,
because whatever God wants for you, it don't matter what I say. It don't matter if I want to be your friend or whatever. If He got a purpose in the calling for you, He going to get you there, one way or another, willingly or yeah. But I want people to always feel like you can come to me no matter what it's about, and I'm not going to look at you differently.
mm-hmm,
Now, I might have to move different for certain situations,
mm,
but I'm not going to be the one to say give them life or give her life or throw the book at her. I'm not going to do that. But I want you to feel like you can be open about what's going on with you. Maybe I can help you. Maybe you just need somebody to listen. Maybe you need an accountability partner. I don't ever want someone to feel as if you have to do things 100% on your own because we're not on this planet to do everything on our own.
Not at all. Not at all. That's like I tell my patients all the time. Everybody needs somebody, because if you do this alone, it doesn't end well. And everybody, and as human beings, we are meant to be around people. We are meant to, if not emotionally, but also just physically be around people, because it gives off, not necessarily energy, but it gives off the motivation to be able to continue to do life. And when you don't have nobody, when you don't be around people, little to none, your body literally will decline. Your body will literally start shutting down, because it is not getting the, what is the word? Is it the dopamine? One of those, but it's not getting that on a daily basis, and so the body will just start shutting down. It's interesting and fascinating, but not a lot of people believe it until it happens.
Yeah. I've been on the side of the prideful, and it does nothing but have your foot shoved down your throat, and then you get to crawling to a person that you wish you would have just said something to before, but you didn't want to say nothing to them
Mm-hmm.
because you ain't want them thinking that you are less than. Or look, man, get that out of your system quick, especially right now. 2026 is not out of time to be, oh, I can do all this by myself. I don't need no man. I don't need no. Yeah, you keep on thinking that. Keep on. You went for a rude awakening. And a part of the problem is everything has to be about drama.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about solutions or finding ways to heal. Nobody wants to really go down that hole because that requires you to be vulnerable.
Yep.
And vulnerability means that you're not Superman. You don't have plot armor on. You're not bulletproof because you've been hurt. You've been scorned. Maybe somebody took advantage of you or used you to the point where you just feel like, all right, man, screw all this. I'm not about to keep on getting manipulated and played. So the systems are already turning us against each other.
Yep.
Now people in the house is doing it too. Nah, no, can't do it. Then that's a lie from the pits of hell. Satan want people isolated. The enemy don't want you in no type of fellowship, no type of community whatsoever. And if you are a part of one, are you sure you're a part of the right one?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because that's the question.
A yes man, and that go for man or woman. That is not somebody that you want around you.
Oh.
Someone who has known you for years and they can tell that something going on with you and they kind of just ignore it and they don't say nothing to you. That ain't somebody you want around you. Period. Give me an example or give me a scenario where you make it available for someone to be free to come to you about something serious and they feel safe and not judged for it.
Whoa. There's a lot of them. It's a lot of them scenarios. It's a lot of them scenarios. Mighty. Let me see.
All right, put it this way: somebody watches this, they going through. They don't have nobody to go to. They don't feel like they do, and this is your way of saying, "Look, you look for a sign. This is the sign." What do you say?
Hmm, what do I say? I say, oh man, I like your second and first one better.
Well, let's touch on the first one then.
Oh, all right. Scenario. I had a woman yesterday who, um, she was, she didn't necessarily go for detail about her progression and her diagnosis, and that was okay. That was fine. But then we started talking about other things, and she said to me, um, what was going on in her personal life between her marriage, her children, and some other things, and how she has been suffering and how she has been dealing with it all on her own because she has felt because she was the caretaker for everybody. She felt that um, nobody was able or nobody is capable of being there for her. And she said to me, she said, Chap, she was like, I don't mean to, disparage anybody. She was like, she was like, I don't mean that. She was like, but I have to get it out. She was like, and I feel like I just have to tell you. And I said, and I'm cool with it. I said, because here's the thing, right? I said, what you would tell a minister, what you would tell a priest, whatever. I said, you can only, I said, in your mind, you think you can only tell them but so much. I said, you really can't get into the nitty gritty with them like how you doing with me. I said, but the thing about me is that I said, I will keep, I said, whatever is said in this room stays in this room. I said, I said, it's a confidentiality, one. But two, is also because I said, I have no reason to tell anybody else what we've talked about. I said, so I'm glad that you feel safe enough to tell me. I'm glad that you're able to let me know that because of your personal situations that you have been dealing with, how it has somewhat affected how you have taken care of yourself and how you have had to wait to take care of yourself. I said, I commend you for that. I said, but also understand that I am the most direct and honest person that you will ever get. So I'm going to tell you some things. I said, you may not like it, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because sometimes we need to hear that hard truth. And as we continue to talk and unravel some things uh, towards the end of our conversation, she said, you said a lot. She was like, but it's all true. She said, and I wish, she said, I'm glad that you came to visit me. She said, because I probably wouldn't have been able to tell nobody else. She was like, not my friends. She was like, not my sons. She was like, but to know that I could tell you. She was like, and I just met you. She said, I didn't think. She was like, I'm now more at peace about what we have talked about. She said, what I've shared. She was like, in your insight. She was like, I'm now more at peace on how to move and how to do things differently now. And that certain when it comes to situations like those, scenarios like those, it's a it's an impactful thing to know that directness and understanding without judgment, without ego, without pride, but just simply just listening and giving 2 cents, it makes a difference. Even if they don't want to hear it, it still makes a difference. Um, but yeah, that's also kind of what I would say, even to the second part.
I love that. I do. I mean, look, as much as we scroll for our entertainment and our own personal pleasures, there's people that's hurting, like
Mm-hmm.
really hurting and mentally and emotionally going through stuff. Some of them troll, some of them lash out, some of them need a laugh.
Yeah.
But I just hate the fact that we don't see enough of the encouragement. And I think that that story right there, amazing, amazing way to show that there's people that know how, if you're in the right place at the right time, there's people that will definitely be there, will be that ear and those eyes for you, just in case. There's so many folks that's not here right now that should still be right here. All they needed was to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I'm There's nothing corny about being vulnerable. There's nothing weak about walking away. There's nothing weak about shedding a tear, um, saying that you're tired, that you need a break.
Yeah.
Um, we're not machines. Everybody has to rest and get sleep and eat and readjust. And, come on, man. And it's not like it's somebody from outer space. It's us doing this to us.
Yep.
We're the ones that's condemning us. Oh, you ain't worth nothing. You ain't a part of society if you can't contribute. If you can't gross $100,000 a year, you're not worthy of this and that and the third. If you have a psychotic episode, we just send you to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the real rehabilitation? Why are you just putting people back on the street that actually need help? And then when they end up crashing out and killing somebody, blood's on your hands because you could have prevented that. But you just wanted that paycheck. You gave them a couple pills and you sent them on their way. It's all a mess, all of it.
Yeah.
And so I encourage anybody who will watch this back. I encourage you to reach out if you need to voice your feelings or you just need professional help.
Yeah.
I'll direct you in an area or to somebody who can actually help you out more than I can. That's the whole point of community, man. Because if I can't do it, maybe you can do it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
Sydney or Trail or Rob can do it. So
Yeah. It's
is
like
that
uh, it's like one of my patients told me. He said, he told me today. He said, he was like, and I've heard a lot of times that what I do, I'm made for it. But he said your personality fits what you do. He was like, and how you do this job. And I was just like, well, that's interesting because I'm an ambivert at first. That's not that's my character. That's a part of my personality. He was like, yeah. He was like, but you do things. And you see things probably way different than how anybody else sees it. He was like, cause your personality. He was like, I can tell. He was like, you're made for this. He was like, the way you ask, your questions. He was like, in your directness. He was like, in your boldness. He was like, yeah, you're made for this. And I was like, and he said all that to really say that, like, whatever you do in life, whatever your purpose is in life, let it be revolving around your personality, because that will make it easier, but also make it more empowering. So, yeah, to those who are suffering and dealing with things in silence, don't have to. There are people, strangers, who lend and deal, build community off of one story, and it grows. It's never alone in the journey.
And all it takes is that spark. I hope this does help somebody. I hope it reaches exactly who it's supposed to reach, and we'll continue to take this journey. God bless everybody, man, who stumbles upon this great show. I, I'm glad you could be here for this one. Appreciate you for taking time out, to share your wisdom with us. I'm gonna chop this up, then I'll have this out tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna take a couple clips and I'm gonna post them here and there. But enjoy the rest of your night, and to everybody who is watching, enjoy the rest of your night. All right.
Later.
Where'd you find this?